All right, welcome back to part 2 of our 5-day cruise on the Carnival Breeze. This part is going to be a little different from part 1. If you haven't watched part 1, definitely make sure to check it out. It's already up on the channel from last week. But for part 2, I didn't really film much of myself talking while on the ship. So instead of cruise champ, you're going to get at home champ. So sorry about that. But let's go ahead and get started as we jump into day 3. The same group went to brunch again, but we did have a couple of additions this time. Everyone was up early and feeling decently okay. For the dessert this time at brunch, we ended up getting the chocolate cake with a coffee sauce. It definitely needed the sauce because the cake was kind of dry. The brunch itself was perfectly fine though. After brunch, took a little bit of a nap before heading up to Guy's Pig and Anchor, basically the barbecue place on board. Got lots of different things from there. The brisket, the chicken, the mac and cheese, all of it is always so good. And then that sweet bourbon barbecue sauce, so good. We followed that up by going to a karaoke competition because my roommate had been going to karaoke every single night and really wanted to do the karaoke competition. Now, with it, the first few songs went off without a hitch. However, it seems that the tech crew that was running karaoke lost internet connection halfway through. And so we had an intermission of sorts where people that weren't even in the competition came up and did some karaoke a cappella, including my roommate.
Your fire, the one desire, yes I know it's too late, but I want it that way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heart. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake.
In the end, this was our winner, and he definitely put on a show. Everyone did great though. Attempted another nap because by day 3, sleep was just not something that was happening. And then went to dinner, where for appetizer, I started off with the carbonara and barbecue spring rolls. My dinner was the eggplant parmesan. All 3 were pretty good. The carbonara was a little dry, but still good. I'd give it a 5, maybe a 6. The barbecue spring rolls were actually really good. They needed the sauce though. I'll give them a 7. And the eggplant parm could have used a little bit of salt, but was still good. I'll give it a 7 as well. And then dessert, the chocolate melting cake again, of course, with the peanut butter. After dinner, had a quick chat with my friend Fudge so that we could figure out everything for our excursion the next day. And then I actually did get to take a 10-minute nap before we went to Deal or No Deal. Now, Deal or No Deal I did on the first cruise as well. You buy tickets, anywhere from $25 to $50 worth of tickets, and that ticket will have a number that could mean you either get up on stage or you can still play your ticket from the audience and win different prizes. Anything from cruises to money to casino play. Lots of different things are available for the people on stage and for everybody in the audience with the ticket as well. Now, of course, I did not get anything and I did not go on stage, so I was a little bummed out, but I still had fun. It was still a fun experience to see.
Private jet filled up a case with cash. He got into his chopper! I did this for myself. And then got into his private yacht. His yacht was actually next to the ship today and he hopped on board. Do you believe that?
No.
Neither do I, but that's the only story I have. I gotta go with it. Normally on a port day it's easier to go with that story.
Right, yeah.
But anyway, Chrissy, we all love you very much for being brave. After all, if you don't gamble, you don't win, right?
You know
and by
what?
the way, tomorrow when you see 25 cents being credited to your account. Don't get mad at me. The company does that.
After that, the group kind of split up again. I went and got some ice cream, again with Fudge, to still figure out everything for tomorrow. And just make sure that everybody had a good plan for their excursions for the next day. After that, apparently I was hungry again, so I ended up going to the late night buffet. They had some really good pizza that I don't really think I saw during the day at all. The pizza, honestly, I'm gonna have to give it a rating because it was so good. It was an 8. It was like a deep dish kind of pizza situation. The nuggets were okay, the fries were okay, but the pizza was where it was at. Went to the buffet and then just took the plate to my room and called it a night. Had an early morning to get up for. We had a cooking class for day 4, and let's end off day 3 and head into day 4. All right, day 4, basically woke up, took a shower, got dressed. I didn't have breakfast, but Fudge did, so I met Fudge down in the dining hall. I wasn't really hungry yet. And then we got off the ship in beautiful Cozumel, Mexico. Here's Fudge doing a little photo shoot for you. And then we explored just a little bit of the area around where our excursion sign was, because we had a little bit of time early on before we were able to start everything for our excursion. With it, there was a lot of just beautiful scenery. You had, of course, tourist places as well. And for one thing, I don't know if this is a me thing, but has anyone ever tried using Bluetooth headphones in Cozumel? I genuinely could not get them to connect, and I have no idea why. But the moment I got back on the ship, everything was perfectly fine. So I don't know if I was just having an off day, but it seemed kind of weird. Anyway, it was finally time for our excursion where we were going to do a 3-course meal cooking class. With the cooking class, I couldn't film much of it because, phone germs, we had to wash our hands and cook. But basically, we had different ingredients brought over to our station. They made it fairly simple for everyone. So with the pork, instead of just having an entire piece of pork, we already had it cut up into bite-sized pieces that we were then going to dump into the pan to cook the pork off. And just everything was kind of just already cut and prepared, but it was raw or unmixed or, whatever that may be, so that we could still have the experience of cooking it just without necessarily the time of having to cut things or peel things. And so it definitely made it a very, very fun experience, and without having to measure things too. One thing I will say about this excursion is I definitely read beforehand that it said unlimited drinks, and for some reason I didn't believe it. The moment we got to the excursion, we were greeted with a rum punch, and then every step of the way with the cooking, if there was something where there was a pause where we had to wait on the pork to cook or wait on the water to boil, someone would come around and ask for drink orders. And so we had a few drinks. Never really drank that much while cooking, but I can't say I didn't enjoy it. For the dishes, we made a Mexican shrimp cocktail with this beautiful presentation, and we got it with tortilla chips on the side to kind of have it in. It made it really amazing. Honestly, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, everything that we made was a 10. For me personally, the pork was more of a 9. It was a little too tangy for my taste, but Fudge loved it and everyone else around us seemed to love it. I probably, if I was gonna make the dish again, which we did get the recipe, so maybe I will, I would definitely cut out, I think there was vinegar in it. I would definitely cut out some of the vinegar for my personal taste, but everything was amazing. So we had the shrimp cocktail, we had the pork in its special sauce, and then we had sweet potatoes that we made a syrup for and had those with as well. My one critique with that is I have a sweet tooth. The sweet potatoes could have been a little sweeter, but that again, that's a me thing. They were perfectly fine. They were good sweet potatoes. If I make them at home, I'm probably gonna add a little more sugar. But no, the food was amazing. The instructors were amazing. The bartenders were amazing. Everyone was just amazing. They were hilarious. They were entertaining. And it was such a great experience. And I definitely think if you don't know what kind of excursion you want to do and you're into learning about food, even if you don't think of yourself as a cook, I think you should give this cooking experience a try. It was absolutely amazing. It was with Chef Tabasco, I think was the name of it. I'll put the information on the screen here. After we ate, we got to kick back at the venue for a little bit. There's pools and things for everyone to enjoy if they wanted to. But then we did head back towards the port. So we got a taxi back to the port where somehow, out of everyone in port that day, we immediately ran into our friends. And so we decided that we might as well go get some churros. Now these were from a tourist place, but I still gotta say they were very good churros and I miss them very much. My sweet tooth misses them very much. Then it was time to get back on the ship, relax, freshen up, all that good stuff, and try to figure out what this towel animal was. My best guess is a frog. I really wasn't good at the towel animal game this time. Everyone was exhausted from being out in the sun all day after the past 3 days of just being on the ship. So for some reason, we started off dinner with a shot. Again, Mug does not like the taste of alcohol, and it shows.
Well, yeah, why is this so hard? Oh my God, we're getting them drunk tonight.
After drinking alcohol, apparently I wanted to drink my appetizers too. I got a corn soup and a French onion soup, both pretty decent. I think I prefer the corn soup, but I would give them both a 7. We then moved on to entrees, where Fudge had the barbecue pork spare ribs. They were super tender. I had Emerald's fried Mississippi catfish, and my roommate Cookie had the broiled strip loin steak with peppercorn sauce, and our friend Sunny had the grilled chicken breast. Everything smelled and tasted pretty good from what I tasted. I didn't taste everybody's plates, but I did taste the ribs. But everything smelled and looked amazing. Cookie then got an espresso martini, sipped it, noticed it was strong, and said, we need to have Mug give it a try.
If he reacted that way to that shot that we had, that was nothing. You never know, chocolate may make it better.
Oh, God.
Cuidado. You're very dramatic.
He is.
Part of the streamer charm.
Oh no, that was rightfully so.
One thing I will say about the people that tend to you on a cruise is they are there to do a job, but I also really, really feel like they are very, very caring people, regardless of this paycheck. The reason I say this is my server had always been so kind to the whole group, but I guess just noticed that I was having an off day. I didn't really eat much of my entree, and it wasn't that the food wasn't good. It was just that I was having an off day mentally, I guess you could say. For dessert, I only ordered one dessert. However, as you can see here, he brought me all 3 desserts. I ordered the tiramisu, he got me some chocolate ice cream and the chocolate melting cake. Because one thing he had seen over the past few days is that I do have a sweet tooth, and that I guess if I didn't eat dinner, I could at least enjoy my dessert. And I really do appreciate him for that.
This is why we contact dog. Y'all didn't funny. It was funny. I gotta lay down. I got the same one right now.
Because it's his friend apparently does what I just did.
The confidence. Muppet.
It was Muppet.
It was Sesame Street.
Well, okay, I get it. He was there.
This is how we wrapped up the night, playing games on a phone while Fudge and Mug laughed because I did a stupid answer. It's whatever. But then we ended up the night going to get ice cream, and we passed by the 80s party, which looked pretty fun actually. Day 5, of course another early morning because who needs sleep? Ended up hanging out with friends on their balcony, which is a really nice view. Our window was still a nice view, but maybe I'll get a balcony next time. But then everyone headed up for burgers at Guy's Burger because it's Guy's Burger. If you're on a Carnival cruise, you gotta get Guy's Burger. Where we got the pig patty, which honestly, so you can get the pig patty just as its own thing or put the pig patty on other burgers. It's basically a weave of bacon in the shape of a disc that fits the burger patty size and fits the bun size. And so it really was actually very good. But apparently for some people it was a little too good because they needed an afternoon nap. Somehow, not much really happened for us between this. We played more of our mobile games with a lot of people came over to enjoy it with us. So it was pretty fun. It was charades, basically. And then it was suddenly time for dinner. So I had to wake up the sleeper. For dinner, Mug started off with frog legs, which I was listening to the footage and I'm upset. I said I was gonna get a frog leg and then didn't. I need my frog leg, Mug. Anyway, he got the frog legs, I got the fried green tomatoes. Can't tell you how the frog legs were, but no, everyone said that they weren't really very seasoned. So take that as you will. The fried green tomatoes by themselves were bland, but with the sauce on the side were pretty good. For my entree, I got the braised beef brisket, while others around the table got the jerk spiced pork chop, the penne mariscos, hopefully I said that right, and Sonny got a second round of the surf and turf, which lets you know it's pretty good. At this point, the servers did their last performance, which was the goodbye song, which kind of put me in my feelings.
Right, of course.
It was just, again, so nice to be with those servers. We went to the dining room every single day, and I think that genuinely was because our servers were just so amazing, and it was also a chance for the group to all be together. And then for dessert, only one dessert today. It was the baked Alaska, which was pretty good. They didn't set it on fire though. Everyone always says you always have to go to the Love and Marriage show, which I didn't do on my first cruise, so I made it a point to do it this time. And fortunately, the entire group went as well. The amazing thing about it was, a guy went up to the cruise director on day one of the cruise and said he wanted to propose to his girlfriend. And the cruise director and him came up with the plan to propose at the beginning of the show. It was so sweet. She said yes. I'm not gonna steal his idea, but it was so sweet, y'all. It was amazing. After that, we all just kind of split up again. I spent the rest of the night packing my suitcase and admiring the shot glasses that we got at dinner each night. Just kind of admiring everything that was there, admiring the whole trip. And then we all got off the ship. Not having a passport sucked. The line for birth certificates, I'm getting my passport immediately. For those that know Mug, you know that he's a terrible pilot and a terrible driver. He's not actually a pilot, but he's a terrible driver. We all wanted Wendy's on the way back home, and he had the great idea of driving backwards through the drive-thru. I was so terrified that this is the only piece of footage that exists. The cashier didn't know what to do, and neither did I. So I just handed them the payment and went back to worrying about my life. We made a trip to Buc-ee's because I had never been before, and I gotta say, first of all, they made me go to the bathroom. They said, you have to see the bathroom. It was nice, it was interesting, it was a nice bathroom. But just the storefront in general, there's so much stuff. It's crazy how much stuff there is at Buc-ee's. And then my first trip to HEB as well, or as I used to call it, Heb, because I just didn't know.
Oh no!
I really thought you were gonna have to cook it. We were not gonna do that. Y'all don't need this man cooking.
Yes, you do.
No.
You do. Look at this. It says
No, all the
Tex-Mex
Pepto-
queso with brisket, oven for 400 degrees, 12 to 15 minutes.
Okay, that's not cooking. That's reheating.
A dub is a dub.
Okay, can you read that sentence right there?
Which one?
Okay,
Protein?
never mind.
What?
It says wrong. I don't know.
Oh.
I'm gonna die.
Wrapped up the trip by going to Taco Bell, where I got to try the Baja Blast gelato because for some reason it was still there and only exists in Texas. It was all right, but it's not worth the price. And then we did try that brisket queso that we got at HEB. It was pretty good. I'd give it maybe an 8. But yeah, it was pretty good. And that was pretty much the end of the trip. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to see more trips. The next trip that I know of is going actually back to Texas in May for a convention. I don't think there's anything before that, but if there is, it'll be here and I'll be sure to let you know. Subscribe to make sure that you see whatever that next trip is, and I'll see you next time.